panelists of this panel are Dr. Mohamed Fahmy, Managing Partner and CEO at Evolution AI, and Mr. Mohamed Nabil, Founder and CEO at Whitebot AI, and Mrs.Somaya Sherbini, Co-Founder and CEO at Opus Talent Analytics. And the moderator of this panel is Dr. Ahmed Abdelhamid, CEO at Kihilin Asset Management. Please welcome our moderator and panelists to the stage.
Welcome everyone to our panel. The panel is titled AI Data Science, Driving Innovation Regarding Digital Borders. As AI technologies takes advancements, market size is growing so fast, specifically in our region, in the MENA region. Currently, the market size is approximately $11 billion. It is expected by 2030 that it's over $150 billion. This marks a great opportunity for entrepreneurs, investors, and the market at large. As this growth happens, there are many challenges. At one hand, for investors, for workforce, new jobs will be present, some jobs will diminish. There are some core challenges at protecting the data, sovereignty of the data. Should it be local? Should it be global? Shall we sacrifice on innovation for more control on the data, or vice versa? I'm happy to be joined in this session with our esteemed panelists. Mr. Mohamed Fahmy is a very well-known investor in the domain, and two prominent entrepreneurs with a solid background. I would love to start this session by allowing each one of them to introduce himself.
Thank you, Ahmed, very much. But do we have any foreigner here? Okay, doesn't speak Arabic? Yes, you. Okay. So that's why we will manage this conversation in English. My name is Mohamed Fahmy. I'm a co-founder for one of the prominent consulting firm in Egypt called Logic. It has been there 30 years. I'm a management consultant in the region. And in the past 5 years, I started a new journey with established a company called Sequence Venture. It's a deep tech investment company. And last year, we jointly with Logic, we established another company called Evolution. It's a AI adoption advisory. This is one of its kind in the region. And today I will be very happy to join my thoughts and experience with you. Thank you very much.
So hi everyone, can you hear me well? Here? Okay, good. I'm the co-founder of a people data analytics software company called Opus Talent Analytics. We are a company that focuses on data analytics with a pivot on talent management. One of the very important things that we thought was a very important idea that hasn't been addressed, and thus the kind of the fact that we spent time and years focusing on this domain, is the fact that the future of work is bringing different types of jobs, different types of required skills, different levels of complexities in organizations, with things like working styles changing, and with efficiency and effectiveness being a key element that defines success or failure and business continuity. And that's who we are, and I'm very excited to be part of today's discussion.
Thank you. I am Nabil. I'm the founder and CEO of Whitebot. Mainly Whitebot, it's the MENA's leading generative AI platform. We built the first large language model locally hosted in the MENA region, focusing to solving the problem of Arabic dialects. We provide our customers, we provide our businesses and governments with the highest accuracy of understanding and interacting with the local Arabic dialects, اللغة العربية الفصحى, Egyptian, Saudi, Emirati, all the local dialects, and we sell it with the highest accuracy and localization of the deployment and localization of securing your data. So we have a footprint across all the MENA region, from Morocco, Egypt, Libya, Saudi Arabia is our biggest market, Emirates, Qatar. We have all a portfolio across all the MENA region countries, serving more than 400 enterprise accounts and 40K SMEs across all the MENA region.
MashaAllah, Mohamed. And this is your host, Dr. Ahmed Abdelhamid. I'm Kihilin Asset Management CEO. I would have loved to be the co-founder of Opus Talent Analytics, like the screen shows, but sadly I'm not. Maybe I will. Okay, so let's start this discussion by having the foundational knowledge that we need to share with our audience. I would start with Dr. Fahmy. Dr. Fahmy, how would you differentiate between generative AI and analytics AI, both from a product view and from an investment view, as an investor as well?
Okay. First of all, we have to know that AI is originally analytics tool. Okay, it started almost 60 years ago, and we have 3 different subsets or subcomponents from the general AI during the past 60 years. The first one was the machine learning, which it was a revolution at that time. And then after 10 years, we got what we call it a deep learning level. And this is a deep analytics with NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. And lately we have the generative AI. So the generative AI is the 4th subset from the Gen AI. The original thing is the analytics AI, and this is the most powerful thing for the corporates. According to the latest research from McKinsey, they quantified the usage from the generative AI versus analytics AI. It was at 20-25% versus 75% of analytics AI inside the organization. Maybe if you need to know more about the mechanism, how we split this 2 sets of technology inside the organization, we will take it later. But for the time being, the analytics AI, this is the core component that we rely on to make the difference. Generative AI also just adopted from 2015. It has been founded based on another technology called GAN. Actually, the main thing, the generative AI, it's more likely usage by individuals. And the individuals makes this technology most famous. In fact, we used to use AI inside the companies. It started from 2005 with the SaaS systems. By the way, the SaaS systems, most of the SaaS systems based on AI layer. There is an AI function in our life from 20 years, but the phenomenal case came after the launch of ChatGPT 2022, and from then that the main famous thing in AI is generative. However, still the analytics part, this is the radical and game changer part inside the AI. I don't want to go technical that much, but I need just to give you this part.
Thank you, Fahmy. I would love as well to abuse the opportunity of having you and Nabil with us. We get to hear at the news that there is an AI model, an LLM model, a Qatari one, Al-Fanar, I think. And there is Falcon from the Emirates. And there is another one from Saudi, and Allam. And there is your model, which is Aql. And it seems to me confusing, all these models. So the first question that comes to mind, what's the difference between these models? Just a rough overview about the market. Is this market actually that huge to have all these models? Are they the same? So I would love to hear your input about the market size opportunity in the MENA region at large, and what would make an entrepreneur like you think of starting a new model from scratch, if my knowledge is right.
Okay. The first one was Falcon by Emirates. It's mainly more for research, not for commercial, but they switched it to be a commercial one. Allam is built on IBM Watson. It's a huge model.
Allam is the Saudi one.
It's the Saudi one, yes. And Fanar, I think it's partnership with OpenAI and Google to build a Fanar, and they are a huge model, more than 100 or 200 billion parameters. We choose a different way. We built our own model, focusing mainly on Arabic dialects, with only a 7 billion parameter size. It gives you a high accuracy with a small size, and it doesn't consume a lot of GPUs to run your model. So we go commercial from day one. We will not go for a research side. We go commercial. We sell our model for enterprises, for governments. It makes us easy to deploy it locally in any cloud in the MENA region. We have a plan in Oman, in Qatar. We started with the Google Cloud in Saudi Arabia. So it make generative model very easy to access, very cost effective, with a small size, and focusing only on Arabic dialect. We support multiple languages, but we are the best.
So the core difference between them is the support to Arabic dialect or the use
size,
case itself?
The
or
size. The size is the main factor, because they are a huge model and it can be deployed on on-premise side or on local cloud. It would consume billions of USD. So we use a small size model and go commercial from day one. We sell it to multiple financial institutions in Saudi, in Oman and Egypt, and recently in Libya. So we go commercial. We do what our clients need. We give you what you need with a very cost-effective model. But their models they have a lot of enhancement in their model, but they are not commercial ready for now. Maybe in the future they will change it. Because if you can have above view about the three models, it's not publicly. You can't access through APIs and do this commercially for your business. It's very hard, and especially Falcon you can.
And all of them are cloud-based or on-prem based?
No, they are cloud-based, but not ready to be commercialized as a larger scale. We are ready to commercialize as a larger scale at this moment.
I would love to delve later on at a later question. Which one would be best? Is it cloud or on-prem? But I'd love to get the input first of Somaya. We had a quick discussion about talent applications or human resources application when it comes to AI. And I understood from you that they're same but not similar. So maybe you give us a quick overview how companies would apply AI for their talent acquisition or talent management or data analytics.
Great. So let's set a baseline, okay? When you decide to digitalize or automate, there is a process that needs to be managed. So if the process is managing the candidates so that you're able to hire for roles, that is a process from starting with a career page, starting with collecting resumes, classifying these resumes, comparing them, giving managers or whoever is part of the interview process a chance to review. So that process is called talent acquisition process management. Now that's just one example. The same example or a similar example is if you are in a company and you want to manage your processes like your payroll, you get information from your finance, your accounting teams, you get information from your HR teams, and how do you manage that in terms of attendance, in terms of vacations, in terms of approvals and so forth. That's a process. Now, companies have started to augment these processes with the introduction of AI enablement tools or AI enablement. So they will introduce a functionality, which is, as an example, in the first example that I was explaining around the talent acquisition, and they will try to introduce AI that will take these data points, these resumes, these candidate data, and classify them and sort them into subfolders, into skills, into rankings, so that the process becomes much more faster, much more lenient, much more agile, and relatively with a little bit more accuracy as the machines learn and as machine learning gets introduced. Now, the evolution of this is data analytics. And what I mean by that is all these different tools are based foundationally on something called data sets. Okay, so you have a data set for a specific year, for a specific data point. You have a data set for the candidates, you have a data set for salaries, you have a data set for performance, the ratings and the performance and the promotions and so forth. These are all called, data sets. So the challenge that companies have is they have a lot of different types of data. Organizational data and employee data is very complex because, number one, it is very unique. Number two, it is very distributed. It sits across different types of machines. It sits across different types of systems. So how do you, number one, establish the relationships between these different data points? And number two, how do you make it more intelligent so that it's able to cling on these different data points and establish the relationships? And that's what data analytics does. It, in the back end, what it helps do is establish these relationships. After it has established these relationships, and through machine learning and through time and through iterations of looking across these different data sets, it starts to become much more intelligent. And the intelligence is featured in two different ways. Either on the recipient side, so if I'm an employee in a company, I want to be able to interact with these different processes, but I want the system to intelligently guide me without me even asking the question specifically in the way that it needs to be written. So on the receiving side, if I'm a user, I want the quote-unquote AI to become more intelligent in addressing my needs, even if my needs are not necessarily defined as such. On the back-end side, which is the people who build these algorithms and people who are the business decision makers, I want to be able to get under these data points and try to understand what the data is really telling me. So what are the insights? What is the intelligence? What is the hidden gems that after trends of time, after 5 years of data, after, if I'm in a company and I want to understand, have I been promoting the right people all along? Do I have a skill gap in a specific area?
And when you mean that, you mean it's from the corporate side. So,
Yeah.
and this poses as well quite a challenge. Because if I understand you, if I hear you well, there is a huge difference between use cases that are directed to individuals and corporates. And I want to take the question forward to Fahmy. Like, how do you see the difference in adoption between corporates and individuals, specifically at emerging markets where data is already a mess, if there is any data in the first place?
Okay. As I said, that the intervention between individual and the AI just came 2 or 3 years ago when the first time the first generative model has been launched, which is ChatGPT, I think 2.0. And from then, the main adoption came from individuals. And the companies, by the way, still up today, okay, reluctant to capitalize on this emerging technology, which is the generative. And I will tell you why. The generative, as I said before, it's a subset from the AI, mainly the third level, which is the deep learning. In companies, any individuals just do 2 things: decision making and problem solving. This is the day-to-day activity for everyone in the organization, with a different hierarchy level. And these 2 kinds of things needs analysis. The base of this is analysis. And before the emerging technologies through AI 20 years ago, we just had 2 kinds of analysis, which is the descriptive analysis that tells us what happened, and the second one is diagnostic analysis to justify this is why happened. And we cannot use this to extend to predict. But AI, after machine learning and deep learning, gives us another analysis tool, okay, to predict things. And recently we have another thing called perspective analysis, which gives us what to do if you predict this incidence. So this is a deep thing usually corporates need. But for the individuals, their interest different and their rationalization for using is different. Meaning, they use image generation. Maybe the image generation, it's not thing that help company to do or to penetrate market or to grow business. But for individual, it's a nice thing to do. Maybe for his own business or for his interest, enjoyment. In companies, even if you need to do this, you should do it through a channel. You have to take approval from your manager and do it with the IT team and link it with the learning and development department to use this aspect. So you cannot choose and apply in organization individually. It will be within the organization. So the main difference again is two things. First, that the type of analytics inside the organization is different. The interest of things from organization point of view and the individual point of view is different. That's why there is not the but it doesn't mean that there is no use, and we have use cases now to a lot of companies applied generative AI and generating value, but I mean that minimal comparing to the analytics AI.
Nabil, you mentioned that you have already sold for 40 enterprises.
400 enterprises.
400, 400.
Yes.
Okay, even more interesting.
With the old model and the new model, not
Okay.
all.
So definitely with 400 enterprises, you know that AI is tough and you're faced by fierce competition locally at this current market with all the models that we have mentioned and maybe with possible ones. What have been your largest challenge or the most thing that keeps you awake at night? What's your go-to-market strategy within this mess, I would say? Because it's almost like every day there is a new model that is published. How can you defend your business? Have an actual defensible business while you have already sold? Is it that the current enterprises that you have sold to have adopted your solution? What's your go-to-market strategy?
Okay, we work in two factors. To localize our LLMs locally because our persona of our customers, like banks, like in government, like telecom, they will not go cloud. CIB can access open ChatGPT publicly. You need to sign with a contract with an AI provider to sell to them an LLM model. So our go-to-market strategy is mainly to expand our presence into multiple countries like Oman, like Qatar, like Emirates, Bahrain, Iraq, Egypt, Libya, to have a local LLM to provide our LLMs through APIs anyone can access with very affordable cost. So you make sure that you pay efficient cost and to secure your data in your country cloud. So this is.
So is it per country or per client?
No, per country. If you need to pay more to make it on premises, we can do this, but it will consume a lot of GPUs and a lot of time. But we can do both solutions. But the most scalable one is.
But then is it sufficient for your enterprises to have a defensible business? Like if I hear you well, you say that many of these enterprises are not allowed, maybe it's the reasons or it's for legal or yes, like the banks, they cannot send their data to the US for ChatGPT. So your offering is to localize this data on an on-prem?
Yes.
So, but can they change your models by other models?
It's very difficult because, but it may be, our churn is from 5 to 7% across. Our churn is very low, but
what is churn? Just for the students that
we
do not
lose
know
clients overall from 5 to 7% only, but we go to in the muscles of the business. We integrate with multiple APIs, we integrate with multiple systems. So if you want to replace us, it will be a cost journey and a lot.
And this makes you defensible in return.
Something, yes, but and the accuracy of the model, we keep enhancement our model. We keep we give you the best accuracy in Arabic. If you compare our English to ChatGPT English, ChatGPT will for sure.
But then, if you're introducing these much changes all the time, I would go back to Somaya and ask, wouldn't that introduce new roles at the current enterprises because of these solutions that are evolving all the time? And how would the talent arena look?
By the way, they are a potential client. They are a potential client.
MashaAllah.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So that's a really interesting point. So we have a customer in the logistics space. I won't name them. And if you all know, or if you don't, logistics and supply chain are one of the most complex industries for a lot of different reasons. They have a lot of complexity, but more profoundly, the most complex because they are introducing heavily, very quickly in the last maybe 2 to 3 years, robotics. Okay, so you will very you know, if you've been to a distribution center, like an Amazon distribution center, you'll find machines stacking racks. You'll find machines measuring the depth and width of packages, so they see if the package would fit in a location. It's very, very complex. So one of the important things that we thought about, which would really help you as an organization stay ahead of the need, is understand the types of jobs you currently have, and understand them. When I say understand the types of jobs, I mean understand the job of a forklift driver is required to do these 10 bullet points, okay? Required to do one of 10 things for the job to be sufficient. If the person will change or learn a new skill, then they would need to learn, let's say, accounting software or inventory control software. So as you start introducing and teaching a forklift driver this new skill, you capture this new learning, okay? So imagine a world where you are not only managing or understanding in very, very crisp statements what is required from a job, but you're also capturing the skills and the learnings of this job. Imagine a world, this is huge organizational capacity, because you're learning a lot of different things about different jobs, and then you start down the line comparing these data points, and it becomes organizational capability.
But that's a challenge as well for the rest of us. Maybe you all understand the topic in more detail. So I see in the audience a multitude of entrepreneurs, investors, and students. So if you want to give a couple of advices to two of any of the ones that I mentioned for the future, let's say that you're looking at ahead of us in 2035, and someone that is a student is preparing his career, what would you advise him? If he's an investor, from your point of view, what do you think he should focus on in a sentence or two? And if he is an entrepreneur, what would your advice to be to him? Just in 2 quick lines. Fahmy.
My advice is don't wait to be this technology or emerging technology proven and has a lot of use cases to be convinced to try it or to work with this emerging technology now. By the way, we have a lot of emerging technology came at the same time, by the way. Yani, we have a blockchain, we have computing, we have nanotechnology improving, everything is emerged. But the flagship for now is AI. And my advice is, if it's too obvious, it's too late. Yani, if this became an old technology, we don't need to talk about it again. And now this is the peak of AI, and we have to capitalize on it. And we have a privilege, yani, didn't happen before. The technology can interact directly with the individual face-to-face through a small device like iPhone or mobile. And this is a unique thing. Also, starting from 2015, the World Global Forum, which is the main body, what we call it, is responsible about to release what the future skills and what we need for the workforce, said that self-learning methodology is the best thing for the future laborers. And AI is the best source to learn from it. Okay, so use AI to be your roommate, okay, if I can say it, okay, to learn, okay, more about different thing of technologies and different thing of knowledge. For the companies, they should start even with a use case from a deep information in this market, because we serve a lot of corporates. Unfortunately, until today, we don't find one single company with a real AI use case. Versus we brought from outside hundreds of use cases for our clients to teach them how to make this use cases, it's applicable in your industry and in your manufacturing. This is my advice. Start immediately, capitalize on this technology and use it in your education, at your home.
And keep learning. And keep learning. And keep learning. Thanks, Fahmy. Somaya?
Yeah, I'll start with, if you're an entrepreneur, a small business, you want to make sure that you are using all the different tools out there that are becoming so smart and so efficient and helping businesses become much more agile and much more efficient as much as possible, because it is impossible to start waiting until you're big enough or you're sizable enough or you have the funds enough to start utilizing everything that's happening. This is near impossible. Things are changing daily, so the smarter you can get by using all those small tools, the SaaS tools, all the different tools that are coming to market almost daily, you're missing an opportunity. If you are a student and you're preparing for the workforce, make sure that you do self-learn. It is absolutely fundamentally important. There is no such thing as a career that is a straight line. It doesn't exist. You want to make sure that you're relevant. You want to make sure that you're diverse in the perspectives. You read a lot about different things. You know, the broader information you have, the more relevant you are going to be for different industries, for different domains, and so forth.
So it's a call to be a generalist.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
We like to call it the T shape. You have to have at least one domain with very deep knowledge and then be like a T, like a Swiss knife. You can do so many things. Nabil?
I am agree with Fahmy and Somaya, but my advice, don't panic, because the industry is growing aggressively, and us as a founders, or if you are a student, the industry is changing day over day. It make you panic, and
So you would say be agile
and
flexible.
And if you miss it today, you will catch it the day after. Yeah, the technology is adapting very fast. So, if you are burning out, you will reach to zero. If you are a founder of a startup or for a student, so learn, but don't panic.
Okay. And last word, Fahmy, if you want to make a last comment.
My brilliant colleague Somaya drew my attention to mention one important thing. She said SaaS several times. SaaS is an abbreviation for software as a service, and this is how we deal with the big software without buying or developing this software. But now we have two different things. Starting from 2022, we have AI as a service. You can interact directly with AI. And 2025, we have now RAS, the result as a service, came from the autonomous agentic model. And this is game changer. Why? Because you can ask for the result, not for the service, which is a big difference. And I encourage everyone.
It gives us homework to search right after the
Yes,
the
and we have a couple of models now available, like Manus, it's an autonomous agentic model, provide the RAS, it's RAAS, this is result as a service. Treat you, don't bother yourself to use it as a tool, you will use it as a helper to get the result for you.
Thanks a lot, Mohamed. We have one last minute for one last question, if any. I've got a question. Anyone would like to ask the panelists a question? Yes, please.
I think the voice is clear. Great. So, AI regulations. We have two blocks globally. US and UK are not giving themselves any constraints in this, and they refuse to sign the AI responsible AI agreement, and 58 other countries signed this in last AI Action Summit in Paris this January. So we have two blocks right now globally. Egypt is following the European Union in the regulation of AI, but the trade-off here is how can we regulate AI without killing the industry in Egypt. And the opportunity to...
And that can be a very nice closing question. So let's make it literally one sentence, because we might run out of time. So the question is, would you go pro more governance or more innovation?
More innovation at this time. And make mistakes and correct after our
Somaya?
Yeah, I totally agree. Innovation, if you block innovation, you are putting limitations and railguards on things that have not still been discovered.
So less governance.
There's governance, there needs to be government-led governance in partnership with the innovators. That's very important.
Okay. Thanks everyone for your time. Let's thank our esteemed panelists. Thanks everyone for it.
Thank you.